Yo, what's up? As you can see, we're going to talk about the moon. And I'm going to start it off with an example. Because the moon reflects the sunlight. The moon reflects the light from Sol, the solar light. The moon is a mirror. The moon is a mirror. The sun reflects off of the moon, right? And where do you get a reflection from? The mirror. So I'm in the bathroom and I got a mirror. So as you can see, this is my right hand. The program is gonna make it. You can see this is the front of me. This is my right hand. But in the mirror, this is my left hand. If I come here, in the mirror, you can see this is my right. This is my right. In the mirror though, just in case you can't, in the mirror, it's the left. Anyway, that should be good enough to get the point across. Now, let me get this time. Let's go outside. And let me take this microphone so I can talk to y'all directly. Alright. The reason why I gave you that example, let me get this microphone as still as I can so the feedback is as less as possible. Alright. The reason for me giving you that example is so that you can see, what I'm saying. The moon inverts things. What is normally or naturally right will be reflected off of the mirror as left. And so let's dive a little bit deeper. The sun, or Sol, S-O-L, from the solar system, the sun is been deemed as positive energy. And the sun makes things grow. The sun makes the plants grow. The sun, it provides heat, and heat is good for healing the body. When you get sick and you might have a cold or whatever, it's crazy, you have a cold. When you have a cold, what does your body do? It heats up. Get this shit right. Your body heats up. It heats up to kill off. It uses heat to kill off illness and sickness. So the sun projects the positive energy. The moon creates negative energy. This is why, when a lot of negative events tend to happen during the full moon, when it's projecting the negative energy at its fullest. If an individual is not conditioned or experienced enough in handling negative energy, then it can overrule them and override them and just create circumstances where they do negative things. Where we, because I'm a part of the collective too. So the moon is a mirror. The moon is a mirror. In a lot of movies, hold on. In a lot of movies, horror movies and drama movies and things of that nature, which when they actually do include a little bit of esoteric knowledge or wisdom in it, they show the moon at the turning point. And the most recent example that I have of this is the movie Tarot. I watched the movie Tarot. It's a good movie. I think that you should watch it. Long story short, she did mirror magic. I'll give you like a general breakdown. In the movie Tarot, there was a seer or a woman that was naturally inclined to perceiving the future. She could see the future through the tarot cards. And she worked for a king. the king used her and paid her well or whatever. But it came a time where one of the messages, you know, she was just a messenger, but one of the messages that she brought to the king, he did not like because it was destructive toward his family, his wife and child. And he had her banned because of it. And then it came true. Her reading came true. And so after him losing his wife and child, he had her killed. Not her. I'm wrong. He had her daughter killed. And so because of her using her gifts righteously, the individual who she was using her gifts positively for made it negative for her. You feel me? He when everything was good, it was good, but when it was bad, he couldn't handle it. And he wanted to push that energy back on her, so he had her daughter killed. So she cursed herself. She cursed herself. Intentionally, she killed herself and cursed herself to her tarot deck, so that anybody who used it would have a very negative ending in their life. Anyway, long story short, how her curse was broken, how they broke her curse in the movie, was by mirror magic, by moon magic. The seer, the tarot reader who cursed herself, her perspective, her energy that she projected was very negative. Her perception of the world was very negative, that fuck this shit, I don't want to live if, you know, my daughter can't live. And it was, you know, she got wronged, understandably so. And so her relationship with her daughter had to end, and to her, let her be the director of her life. She said, okay, then my life is over as well. So she ended it. But she ended it on negative terms. She was looking at everything through that negative light that the king had projected back onto her. You know, she also, yeah, she was the seer. She was the bearer of the message, but she wasn't powerful enough. She wasn't powerful enough to be able to deal with the energy that she got herself involved in. She didn't know how to minimize it or neutralize it. That's why I say neutralize it, right? If the sun is the positive force, then the moon is the negative force. That creates neutrality. That creates peace. And in life, there will be peace. There has to be powers for both. The sun lights the day. The moon lights the night. But actually, you know, the sun or soul, when the soul is out, the darkness is minimized, like extremely. You understand? When the sun is out, the closest thing we can get to the darkness is inside of a building or a shadow, which a shadow is also a form of a mirror. Since I'm at that point, I plan to put it together. But anyway, the oldest forms of mirrors that we do have, is the shadow. Because if you look at your shadow the same way that I gave you a mirror reflection, how in my life, this is my right hand, but in the mirror, it's my left. Your shadow is that same way. In your life, the mirror, in your life, your right hand is your right, but on your shadow, it's your left. It's the inversion. It's the opposite. Your shadow is the mirror image of you. So the shadow is one of the oldest forms of, the oldest evidence of the mirror that we have, in conjunction with water. They say, you know, the moon rules over the water being emotions and things of that nature. Just some free game, you know, just free game for the video. Anyway, she was not aware of how to neutralize the negative energy that the king had projected onto her. It overcame her. But in the end, in the tarot movie, when they showed the moon, the reader who broke the curse, she just used the mirror magic. She actually went head on. She used some sun energy. She used a lot of solar energy. She went to the witch, the cursed one. She went to her directly. You feel me? Solar energy is up front with you. She went to her directly and she let her know, man, your vision of this is very fucking negatively, and look at all the hurt that you're doing to all these other people. But just because your relationship with your daughter ending, ending doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could also be new beginnings, you feel me? And so she flipped it. She came with a different perspective, actually the mirror image, the opposite perspective of the reality, and she imposed that onto the witch, and that broke the curse. She also used her cards against her, you feel me? And this is what I'm talking about with the moon. The moon receives the solar energy and sends it out, sends it back. It could send it back too, you feel me? So I say that because if you're dealing with a lot of maybe some negativity and things of that nature, you have to learn how to use the moon. And I don't know everything about it, but I know that the moon is very powerful. And when you want to make things good for you, when you want to make a negative a positive for you, you have to learn how to flip it. You have to learn how to flip it. And the moon is all really about flipping things. So, I want you to think of this. I'll keep this in your mind. In your mind. In your mind. In your subconscious, in your inner being, always know that, or tell yourself that, I have a mirror on my back. I have a mirror on my back. And what does this mean? Symbolically, what it means is that now that you know what a mirror does, it reflects, it inverts, right? So it takes a positive and makes it negative, or it makes a negative and makes it positive, right? It's going to flip, but it also is going to show back onto that person. So the mirror is showing me. It's showing me still, but it's showing the opposite of me, or like the inverted version of me, but it's still showing me. You feel me? What I'm saying is, I could use a mirror for positive things or negative things, but I'm using it against myself. You feel me? If I went into the mirror every day and I affirmed to myself that I am strong, I'm courageous, I'm wise, I'm independent, I'm able, etc., etc., I'm projecting these things onto myself. Why? Because the mirror is showing me myself. It's not going to show a whole different person or nothing like that. It's still useful. It's still showing me me. It's still showing me me. So with the phrase that you must incorporate in your being, there's a mirror on my back. What does it mean symbolically? What does it tell your subconscious mind? What does it tell your program? How do you, what energy or what construct is it programming your toroidal field for? Is inversion of your blind spots, right? On my back. The mirror on your back means in your blind spots, in the areas that you can't see. When people are projecting and intending for illness and sickness upon you, when people have ill intentions and malevolent intentions, negative, when they're sending negative at you or towards you in areas that you might not be aware of, that energy, once it hits you, it actually becomes positive. It actually becomes a positive for you, and not only does it become a positive for you, but they're just manifesting against themselves, right? Because with the mirror, they can only see themselves. They can no longer see you. They're only sending their energy towards themselves. So that's just the gift of having a mirror on your back. The people can't really see you. They're not sending things to you. They're sending things to themselves. And actually, when it does, if it does hit you, it's positive for you. You know, but intend for that. You know, you don't want to be making negatives out of positives. You want to receive that. You want to just set up a filter. You know, your mirror filters. It filters negative. It you know, it receives the positive and it reflects the negative. I have a mirror on my back that receives and allows the positive to flow in and through me, and it reflects the negative back onto its sender. You feel me? So the negative that people send to you in your blind spots, it goes back onto them. And because it does hit you, it will hit you, but it will be converted into something that you can use. The moon, man, there's so much power in the moon. That's why, you know, a lot of mages, magicians, witches, or whatever, a lot of them work moon magic. They use the moon a lot. And the moon is, truthfully, a higher source of reality. We are told, you know, we're programmed that there's 365 days in a year and 30 days in a month and stuff like that. But truthfully, if we look into it, it's 28 days in a month and it's 13 months. That's all I'm going to say about that. 28 times 13, do the math. The moon also governs, like I said, water, right? One of the oldest versions of the mirror is through water. It shows you a reflection, which is why the moon and water have a relationship. The moon governs women's menstrual cycles. It governs so much. It governs so much. But the point of this video is to really show you how you can use the moon. Think of the moon and think of mirrors. And think of silver. Think of silver. Silver. The moon, the metal that correlates with the moon is silver. You know, New Age, we use maybe some aluminum and, you know, platinum and things of that nature. But if you go old school, the moon is associated with silver, the metal, the color, all of that type of stuff. Let me think if there's anything else about the moon that I have. The moon is a mirror that converts or inverts the energy that is bestowed upon it. It also reflects, me, moon. Like I do astrology. So the moon is a luminary as well, right? I kind of covered this in my last video. The moon is a luminary, which means that it shows you things. And what does it show you? It shows you what it projects onto you. It shows you negatives. So wherever you have the moon in your natal chart will show you how your ability to see negativity. So me, I have the moon in the first house. I see negativity through individuals' body language. You know, I can see it like that. If you got the moon in the second house, you might see how people's values are negative, or see people's negative values and things of that nature. If you got moon in the third, it could show you how people speak negatively, or they learn a lot of negative things. You know, you would just have to do your own research. I'm not gonna cover everything in this video. But for me, it's my superpower. One of my superpowers, because I have it in the first house of the self, in my body. My body is very sensitive to negative energy. My body is very sensitive and receptive to negative energy. And because my body is very sensitive to negative energy, if I'm in an environment and my body starts to feel ill, or, you know, my body will let me know when there's negativity around me. That's all. Now, let's talk about the ruling sign of the moon, which is Cancer. And Cancer, let's talk about it. I could dive into that. Cancer. Depending on what you learn or who you listen to, they will tell you that the moon is the heart, is the mind. It is all of that. If you want to see an individual who has a lot of heart, truthfully, Cancers. You want to know why? Why does Cancer individuals have a lot of heart? Because they project their negativity. That's what the moon does. Like we go back to the beginning of the video, the sun is the positive energy, the positive light. The moon inverts that and projects the negative light. So Cancer being ruled by the moon, these individuals, when they have negative thoughts or feelings or etc., either they're gonna just shut the fuck up completely, not gonna say nothing at all, or they're gonna let you know how they feel. There's no in between. There's no I'm a manipulate my words to deceive you and get my negativity off. Or no, they're gonna come at you direct. You gonna know exactly what the fuck is going on and how they feel when it comes to that negative shit. And you think about but once it's over with, right? It's like, I'm gonna get that shit off as long as as long as the circumstance is over. If the circumstance ain't over, they're gonna continue to project that shit. But either way, why Cancer has heart? Because they not scared to show you their negative side. Cancer gonna just put it out there, man, fuck that shit. I don't feel like there's a whoop-de-whoop. They not afraid. There's no fear in letting it be known that they feel negative, that they see negative, anything about negativity. They're gonna show you that. That's what the moon is. That's what Cancer is ruled by. Some of the artists, hopefully I ain't moving too much, but it is what it is. Some artists that are Cancers, rappers, Plies. And I don't know about you, but I remember when Plies came out. I'm in middle school, high school, and goons lurking and whoop-de-whoop, you feel me? It's like, man, you fuck niggas, kept it too real. He got a lot of hits, and he would talk about that real shit, about how people feel by being hurt, you feel me? Just the negative feelings and emotions that we all might go through from situations and circumstances in life that make us feel a type of way. And why he got big? Because he was putting it out there. A lot of people weren't putting it out there. A lot of people weren't talking about that. Yeah, you got Boosie and stuff like that, but it's just different. 50 Cent, also another one, Cancer. And they blew up, they came up, they whatever they had been going through in their life, the negative energy that they might have been sitting on, they came, they projected their shit, they used it for positive. They blew up, and they kind of became moguls. Plies, he still make music a little bit, but he's still relevant. 50 Cent, mogul. He do movies, TV shows, all of that type of shit, It's a deep emotion. It's shining a light on the area of life that we all go through in negativity, and it's doing it unapologetically. Unapologetically, and people can fuck with that. Somebody got to be the one that outs that expresses that, the one that shines light on that area of life. And so that's the value of that. Why they got hard? Because they not sneaky. You know how the Cancer feel. You know how the Cancer feel. And I resonate with this, like I said, because I got moon in the first house. So this energy I embody, like the Cancer energy in my body, like when I'm feeling the type of way, man, you gonna know the fuck how I feel. Either my body gonna show it, my mouth gonna show it, like that's just how it go. Now, one of the kind of how this can be a weakness, though, is people that know this about you can kind of use this against you, but they could never win. Why? Because like we already established, the moon is a mirror. You know that mirror magic. You know when the motherfucker's trying to use shit against you, you know how to flip that shit and make it work for you. You feel me? You know how to flip that shit and make it work for you. So if you're going through something in life and you want to make it right for you, look to your moon in your natal chart. This also kind of I'm sure this is one of the major reasons why I have done like bodybuilding and physical exertion and exercise and shit like that. You feel me? Because when I was going through situations in which other individuals might have been expressing or indulging in using their power over me, be it mental power, never really like physical power, emotional power, experiencing things of that nature, when people was like trying to pin me down, when people was putting a lot of negative energy on me, I might have harbored it in my body, and I had to learn how to flip that to my benefit. You know, like I said, Moon in the first, I'm receptive in my body, so either I was going to be an ill motherfucker, and you know, if you got Moon in the first and your environment is a lot of negativity, either you're going to be a sickly ass motherfucker, or you're going to learn how to take that negative energy and flip that shit and make it work for you. And that's what bodybuilding was for me. You know, some people might, or just exercise, not necessarily bodybuilding, because before I was bodybuilding, it was just making use of the energy, becoming a strong ass motherfucker. Some people might use it for, you know, football, basketball, yoga, you know, whatever. It's gonna be in your body. You got this energy within your body, so you need to find a creative outlet. I guess I'm more so talking to Moon in the first house individuals. You got to find you a creative outlet so that you can make this negative energy work for you. And a lot of that, your creativity is found in Pisces. So look to wherever you have Pisces at. That's going to show you a creative outlet. Pisces also shows you your addictions. But more into that later, you know, just stay tuned. I'll drop videos about everything. So Moon, they got heart. Why? Because they not afraid to show you their negative side. They got power. Why? Because they know how to flip shit. And a thing that I haven't talked about yet is Moon knows the source. The Moon gets its power from the source. If I go off the solar system model of life, the sun being at the middle, the soul being at the middle, the moon reflects directly from the soul, the source of all things. So this is also a benefit of, you know, the moon being the luminary of the night. The moon can see what the fuck is going on in the dark. The moon has the ability to shine light on the underworld and to see in the dark. So whatever might be hidden or attempted to be hidden cannot be hidden from the moon. And the moon knows the source of where it's receiving its energy from. Trust and believe, because the moon is a receiver. It's a reflector as well, but it's a receiver. So the moon knows where the fuck this energy is coming from at the source. You know? So if you ever want to find out, you know, the source of some things, look to your moon and your natal chart. And that's all I got to say about the moon. Stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe. And stay dangerous.